How are you? Sorry, I'm a bit of a sleepy mess. Not really. I've just been very tired today. Yeah, I've been taking some antibiotics because I've had a cold. That's all. Um, but it upsets my everything. I've been taking probiotics with it because, kefir sort of just, yeah. But I think I've got run down. I've been doing a little bit too much, and sometimes when you overdo it, your immune system dips, and then you know whatever. Anyway, I'm not that bad, and it's story time. The reason it's story time is because each of us have, and this is everybody. I mean, just all of us. We're humans. We are our own story. Do you understand what I mean by that? Our lives are creating a story. We are his story. In my case, it's male, but her story, his story. So those stories have energy. And if we understand that stories have energy, we start to look at who's the author of our story. And of course, you're your own author because you're your own story. And your own story is your own energy. So that gives you authority over your story. Yeah, you're the author. There is no authority but yourself. It's pretty simple. If there's noises, it's because I've got a fan on because it's very hot today. So I'm sorry if there's a whirring noise. Yeah. So, I mean, regarding my story of 69 human years, it's coming up soon, my birthday. I'll be 69. And it's been very interesting how I've managed to maintain a certain amount of authorship of my own story, because there have been times when I lost the script. Just lost the script because it's complex. The way society has us interacting with each other is very complex. I talked to a relative through marriage last night, and he didn't understand my peaceful coexistence with everybody. He didn't understand. He was like, well, it's human nature to kill. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's just the story you've been told. He's a fine man, but like many that I talk to, he gets confused about defense. He gets very confused about what he's defending. And he's defending free will. He's an American, very much so. Former military man, so There's a lot of indoctrination that goes with that, as everybody knows. So I tried to reason with him about free will. And he doesn't believe that we individually have free will. He thinks we're dangerous and need to be protected from ourselves. No. So, I try. I always put out the olive branch and try to understand how people can conceive of killing somebody else in order to save lives. It's just beyond me. I try. I try really hard to rationalize with these people that have based their lives upon a lie. It's a lie that they've been telling themselves. I understand our human experience. I understand that our timelines and our bloodlines and our choices are kind of messed up, and there were times when I somewhat strayed from my own path, but I never lost sight of the fact that I would prefer love and peace, and the only way to achieve that is to be love and peace. And that means to not be violent, to not be aggressive in anything but the fight to be free. But it's not a fight in the physical sense or the violent sense. It has to be done by example, and that's the only way I can think to spread this idea of love and peace, is to be it. Because if you're not it, then you're part of the collective, and the collective have a template that they throw on a problem. They come across a problem and they throw on the same template, and that's not a good thing to do. You have to understand each nuance, and there's no need for war. None whatsoever. You can't convince me of it. There's no justification for war. Oh, I have somebody saying good morning. Hi, good morning. Hi, Godless. Goodless, not Godless. Goodless. Hi. Morning. 3:46 in the afternoon. So I don't know where you are in the world. This strange clock, this strange time concept that we live within. Yeah, so as far as we must associate with those who want to build a better world instead of destroying each other. That's a very simplistic view, I know. I've been working on a nice piece of music. and it's about stories. So tell me stories. Tell me your story, Goodless. Tell me your story. Who are you? Where you from? What you doing? Where you been? Where you going? What's going on? Because those stories are energy, and we interact, and when we interact, we have influence. If we don't interact, we don't have much influence, and many people are withdrawing. They're withdrawing because of this atmosphere of control and agitation is too much for them. I rise to the challenge every day. I try really hard to push forward with my agenda, which, my daughter said, oh, we all have an agenda. And I said, well, I don't really have an agenda. I'm just in the flow. And she said, well, that's your agenda, to be in the flow. So she's correct in some respects that's true, a truism. The thing is, the flow for me is within my purview, not everybody else's. I'm in my flow, in the bigger picture of humanity, and I think we're progressing. I don't think we are regressing. I think the control system, the media, everything that we're feeling right now, from we're on the brink of war all the time and all this nonsense. I think it is nonsense, but I think it's being done in order to keep us in a fearful way, in a fearful path. And I'm not playing that game. I won't play their fear. The person I was talking to yesterday talked about technology. I love technology. I think the technology we have is so brilliant. I think it's amazing. But in the wrong hands, it's a weapon. And that's what's happening right now, is they seem to be weaponizing everything, especially the technology. They've got people fearful of artificial intelligence. Well, what you should be fearful of is the intelligence agencies that are feeding you that line of bullshit. A computer programmed algorithm is stopping me from getting a bigger audience. Why? Because the good technology is in bad hands. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm saying there should be more of me, but what I'm saying is there's a part of this technology that we are not privy to, because the people that run it are the people who promote it through the media machine that is social media. Each of these platforms that I speak on, they're owned by major faceless corporations, although there are some people that try and defend their operating systems. My friend Danny Katz, who's absolutely brilliant, I admire her work. She works a lot with propaganda, against the pop propaganda. She's really quite brilliant with words. So if you get the chance, go to dannykatz.com and understand that there is a better way. And she has been attending these meetings of this huge think tank that is a devious think tank, and the head of Google, or one of the guys at the head of Google, was kind of defending his position, and she spoke out against him. She actually got on the microphone and spoke out against him, and not against him in the true sense. She just asked him some pertinent questions, which he genuinely sidestepped and kind of patronized her in a way, and I thought that was really brave of her, and I think it was really stupid of him. But the thing is, I think people won't even hear it because she'll get banned, and because he owns the platform on which she's publicly putting this out. So, it won't have that much traction, which is sad. I mean, we should be able to at least hold the CEOs of these major companies to task for at least the understanding of freedom of speech, free will, So, yeah, it's kind of getting a bit hairy out there, People are starting to recognize that the system is closing down on them. Talked at length again yesterday to somebody about, the digital domain, how we've got to be very wary of going too digital. Well, yes, because the technology is making our currency, the way in which we trade with each other, they're making that into a digital enterprise. They're taking away cash. Not that cash is actually backed by anything except ones and zeros on a screen, but it's not that. It's the fact that they can control the digital domain if we willingly walk into it going, oh, it's just convenient. Somebody tried to send me some money they owed me the other day, and I never received it. And the reason I never received it is because my bank has decided they don't want to deal with that app. Well, you see, it's already happening. They're tightening the hose, The drip isn't happening. Yeah, we got to be very aware of what's going on. Instead of just accepting things for the way they are, we have to challenge them. And that's, again, more power to Danny Katz, more power to people like Emily Moyer, more power to people like Matt McKinley, Shane Sador. I mean, there's so many people that I know are not just pushing back, but saying, wait a minute, they have to stop, and we have to stop them. How do we stop them? Well, we just start to withdraw our consent. I'm not letting you take my persona. I'm giving you that which I create. That is my story. And I'm the author of my own story. And there is no authority but yourself. There's a lot of legal crap going on too. New laws that are coming in all different places in the world where they're testing to see how far they can push people. Well, it's time to push back a little bit. Or at least stand firm and say, no, not doing that. All right, that's it. I'm going to spread some love and peace, but I'm also going to take a nap. Hoi, hoi, hoi. All right, lots of love. Peace. It's important. Be it. Cheers then. I don't know how to stop this. Okay, here it is. Blink.